Come on, live. Okay. Hey, everybody! It's your girl, Miss Trina, with Chat with Trina, and it's Wednesday night. It's the first time I've done a real, actual Wednesday when my show was supposed to be, and I just want to mention two things that fits this month of two important things to me. One, it is World Adoption Month, Awareness Month, and then the other, it is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, which both are near and dear to me, but the pancreatic cancer is near to me because my dad passed of that September 23rd, 2024. And I still feel it like it was yesterday, but I'm working on it. So both of those are this month. So I'm asking for tomorrow. It is actually the World Day for Pancreatic Cancer tomorrow. So I'm asking everybody, if you can, wear something purple. And not just honor of my dad, but of course my dad, but Sheila Jackson Lee, D'Angelo, what's his name? Marvin Zindler. Those are things. And I will be on tomorrow. I tried to find a guest to talk about the topic, but I can't. So I am a researcher. So I'll be on here talking about pancreatic cancer with y'all tomorrow. So if I can't find anybody, because the show must go on. So tonight on, I'm going to read because I'm moving fast. Tonight on Chat with Trina, we're going to recognize World Adoption Month. Awareness Month with a very special conversation. I'm joined by someone I've known for a very long time. She works really hard in the community, and that's how I met her, Miss Kenyetta Bolling, who has walked through the adoption process and now shares her home and her heart and her life with a wonderful young lady. We're going to talk about her journey, her story, and what she's learned along the way. And then she's also going to talk about the realities of adoption, the emotional side of the process, and the beauty that comes to sharing her life with a beautiful soul. How are you, Miss Bolling, Miss Kenyetta?
I am doing really well. So happy to see everybody on this wonderful Wednesday. Yes, and happy to be here.
How do you like this shift of the time? The daylight savings.
So it's definitely more difficult, especially because it's so much to do in a day, and so you're still working and you're looking outside like I should be in the bed, but you still have not done half of what you need to do as far as when you get home.
So I missed the interview last Tuesday, or maybe last Wednesday. I was supposed to have an interview with Clarence Miller, and I slept straight through it. It was dark outside, and I had closed my blackout curtains because it was a glare on my TV.
Yeah.
Girl, I must have needed that sleep because I was out of it. I think my daughter dropped me off at like 3. I woke up at 8.
Wow.
It was nice, dark, cozy, and no noise. And I said I probably needed it though.
So. Yeah, that's some good sleep. Yes, for sure.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let you give your story and talk, and then in between I'm gonna start off with a question, and then I'm gonna let you give your story because no one can give it like you can. Okay. So can you start off by sharing what first put adoption into your heart and made you feel ready to explore this path?
So I have to go back to kind of the root of who I am as a child. I think I've always been just very much a nurturer. I was the little kid who would collect all the bugs and try to keep them safe. And, any little stray dog, I'm trying to collect.
So I can see that.
Yeah, I've had motherly nature, like from a child. So as I, became an adult, I've done everything from be a mentor, an auntie, a godmother. I was part of Big Brothers and Sisters, had a little sister, brothers and sisters. So I've always been a service heart. We were raised in a service family.
Right, that's hard.
My mom started a community center. So just in that, we always have had our hearts and our homes open to so many people who were not biologically our family.
Right.
So that was not foreign to me at all.
I do remember your mom's story. I'm sorry. I just do remember your mom's story of taking kids over to get them registered for Lone Star College back in the day.
Yeah. All of that. And those people, not only did we serve them at the center, a lot of them found our home as the safe haven. So everybody would come over. So we've always been around, again, people that were not biologically our family and just bonded that way. So as I, became a professional, I started early in my professional career and was really into that and, did a lot of service work through my sorority and just everything. It got to the point, actually, it was in 2020, how we talk about with your vision, 2020 vision. So when 2020 hit, I said, you know what, I'm going to establish a clear vision of what this season in my life was going to be. So in my mind, it was again, continue to grow myself professionally, continue to serve others and all of that. And then something at that point, that was when COVID hit also in spring of 2020. So I was spending a lot of time at home. A lot of my work has transitioned to virtual. So I was doing a lot of like online courses, just self-help things and all of that. And God really on my heart to explore the process of becoming just certified as a foster home. I wasn't ready to get a kid yet. I was just gonna, process. So in March of 2020, I started the process with Arms Wide, which is the agency that we went through, and started the process in March. My home and myself, I was certified by about middle of July. Is how long the process took. So in that time, you're so excited because you're passing all your tests and they're passing the home study. It's so good. And then the funny thing about it is once everything was complete and I was certified, I didn't get any calls. So my momentum, my doubt started setting in. Like, oh, I finished in July, and it was mid-August before I got the first call for a placement. And the first call was for a 3-month-old baby. And I said no. I said no out of fear, for me, I need my 9-hour sleep at night. So I'm like, a 3-month-old baby, what cut it?
We're gonna work on my career in my day-to-day life.
I need to maintain my schedule again, being about me. So I said no. And then it was still water. So I thought I was being punished because I said no. And I'm like, oh no. So I didn't get my second call till probably October. And that was for 15-year-old twin girls who had been moved from a lot of foster homes because of behaviors. I said no, because I'm like, they probably bigger than me. I said, I can see them. They'll have me tied up in my closet. I said no to that one. And then I finally said, you know what? I have made a promise to myself. I said, the next call I'm going to say yes, because this is not right that I went through all of this in fear and I'm functioning in fear. So on it was Monday, December 28th, 3 days after Christmas. So I still have my Christmas tree up, have my little fireplace going, sitting on the couch, and the phone rang. And they said, we have a 5-year-old girl that we're removing, emergency removal from an abusive situation in Galveston. Would you like to take her? Yes or no? And so I had agreed to be emergency placement. Some people think that I picked Jada, and it wasn't like that. People think, oh, y'all are so cute together. You picked the right. I did not pick her. They called me and I just said yes. I didn't know anything about Jada. All they gave you was the demographics, her age, her sex, and her race. That's and where she was coming from. That's all they gave me. And they said within 4 hours, we'll be there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I hung up. That quick. When they do those emergency placements, it's like there's a crisis going on in the moment and they have to immediately remove the child out of there, and they have to have a foster home that is open to accepting. Yeah, because you do have the option as a foster parent to kind of, pick the child and get to know and make a good match and all of that. But I didn't want to do that. Like, I wanted to be a safe haven for somebody that was in a crisis, in a crisis moment. So anyway, when I hung up the phone, I was like, oh my gosh, I just said yes. So I called my sister, called my mom, called all my, close friends. Okay, y'all, she'll be here in 4 hours. So in my mind, when I think of a 5-year-old, I'm thinking of, maybe a 6X size clothes, maybe 7. So we went and got all these clothes and, basic needs of what she needs, not knowing what was going to be. So then I waited, and then the time started ticking, so it took them about 6 or 7 hours to actually get there. They didn't get there till like 9:30 that night. And so I took a deep breath. I opened the door. Look, I know I probably was peeking, looking out the crib. I opened the door and stood a really tall man that was her caseworker. And behind him was Jada. And I looked at her, and the first thing I thought, them pajamas ain't gonna fit. I was like,
she was bigger.
Yeah, she's in the like 99th, 100th percentile for her age. All of that. So that's the first thing I thought. Them pajamas ain't gonna fit. So I tell everybody, it's so funny. The first night she wore my pajamas, we had to take all that stuff back because nothing fit and all that.
That's so cute.
It was the beauty of just being open and willing to be a vessel, not knowing I didn't, typically I am a type A person. I do typically at my work have control over a lot of things. And so I had to relinquish control and say, God, you put this on my heart. I'm going to trust that whatever it is, whatever emotional needs she comes with, whatever trauma she comes with, you're going to equip me or send people to me in my village to work it out. Yeah. So that's kind of the process of how she got here with me on December 28th of 2020.
Oh, wow. So do y'all celebrate that day?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
We have a little dance inside.
I saw it on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that's a big day for us. Yeah. We play the Tony anniversary song. We used to go out to eat. We do we celebrate that. That's our day. That is our day. That's her that's our day. 28 is our when we ask what's your favorite number, it's always 28.
28. That is so sweet. So she came when she was 5.
She was 5.5. Yep, she was 5.5. So, and now again, looking back, I realized that was perfect for me. Of course, God is, he knows everything that you need before you even need it. And so I'm thinking it was so perfect for me because she was independent enough that she didn't have to require all of me, meaning she could go in there and make a peanut butter jelly sandwich for me and her if I didn't feel like cooking, She could at least take a decent bath and I'll come in and hit the hot spots. So she was independent enough that I did not feel that I was like relinquishing my whole self and my whole, even though I know that's what parenthood is, but you still have to have balance, especially being brand new in this, thing called parenthood. So, God knew exactly what I needed.
And it was like the right time because that's actually when the foundation starts where she's going to need and the brain and everything starts.
Development. Yes. And luckily, a lot of memories. She has some memories, but I got her young enough where, again, I tell people love, trust, stability, and consistency can really heal a lot of issues. So even though she came with some trauma, with that love, trust, stability, and consistency that I was able to give her, we were able to overcome a lot. And she has some memories of some of the traumatic experiences that she went through. There are some things that triggers her, like, she doesn't really like to wear all white because those were instances when she spilled something on her white clothes that she was being abused, so there were a few things that I could tell were very clear triggers. So we had to kind of work through that, but that love, trust, consistency, and stability, it heals a lot of things. And so, I tell everybody, really that's all children need. People wonder, has Jada been
I was just talking to my niece earlier today about consistency.
Consistency.
That's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yes.
One of my nephews is on the spectrum. So I was trying to explain to her that consistency, what they do at school, you got to do it here. What you do is here. They got to do it at the school, or it just throws them all out of whack.
Yeah, it's routine and it builds that level of trust. So we have Mommy and Me Mondays because that was a big thing. I could tell she dealt with a lot of abandonment and, she needed a lot of attention early on. So, I had to figure out how to balance that. I couldn't. Again, I couldn't give you all of me every day, all day. So we came up with things like Mommy and Me Mondays. I would put my phone away. I would turn the TV off. I would be in close proximity with her and we would make some little art project. Just recently we made accordion fans with just construction paper and did the wedding fans, and dance around.
I love that.
So again, it's dollar store stuff, it doesn't cost a whole lot. It does, but she knows she gets on Mondays, she knows she gets full undivided attention. And again, you just have to be consistent with that. So there have been a few Mondays that we missed, and she does ask, Mommy, we didn't do Mommy and Me Mondays. Are we gonna do, Terrific Tuesday?
Right. What we gonna do? Where you at? What we doing?
Right, because she needs that. She needs that time. She needs that attention, and again, that consistency. And again, like I said, all of that is cheap and easy. People ask, has Jada been to Disney World? No. Does Jada, have a pair of Jordans? No. Does Jada have a cell phone? No. Does Jada have a Nintendo Switch? No. But what she does have, again, is love, trust, consistency, and stability. And that has worked thus far.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It's so funny. This has nothing to do with what you said. Mentioned phone. I was looking at a show, House of Pain, the other day, and there was this big deal about someone bought the little boy. I think it was 6. Bought him one of those $1,400 cell phones, and the parents got mad and was like, "You should have asked us. That's a big expense for someone that young." But my kids couldn't get a cell phone; they were like almost in high school. So anyway, I was just that when you said cell phone, I thought,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what I have to, and Jade already knows. I said, Jade, you have a different type of mommy. So I know all your other friends got this and do that, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to build your character first. All of those
Exactly.
random things that'll be old in 2 months. There'll be an iPhone. I don't even know what number iPhone they're on, but it'll be something different next year.
No, it's too much.
Yeah,
it's too expensive for me to have.
Yeah, that's right. So again, I'm building the root and the character of who you are. And again, that love, trust, stability, and consistency will take you much further than the pair of Jordans that your Bigfoot gonna grow out of real quick, and all of that irrelevant things. Yeah.
I get
And the other thing I want to touch on is, one thing that was kind of I questioned my ability to really parent. Now, I've mentored a lot of people. I've, been a support system for a lot of people. But being a parent, I was kind of nervous about that because I was always the one, send them home.
You know what? I'll definitely say, when you get them, you send them back home. Yeah, absolutely.
Send them home. But I'm like, oh, this one don't have no home to go to. This home is your home.
Yes.
So even through the fostering process, and I know this is something that people typically are afraid of. It's like, what if, in 6 months she has to go and they, because reunification with the family is always like CPS's primary goal. Yeah. So you go in with that mindset that she may be here long term, but honestly, I did not think she would be because she had extended family, and they would try to reach out to aunts and different people. So my goal and my mindset was like, okay, while she's here, I have 5 goals for her. So if she leaves, these 5 things I really feel will catapult her or set her up for success wherever she goes. So the first one was she did not know about a higher being. She didn't know that there was a God. So she came to me and she said, Mommy, I didn't know that I could pray. She said when things were happening, she didn't have anybody to talk to. She didn't know that she could pray and, petition to God to help her and to change things. So I wanted to make sure she knew that about a God, a higher being. The second one is she had no cultural identity. She is biracial, but her cultural setup is she's a Black girl. So when she came to me, she told me she was a peach girl, so somebody at some point, I guess, looked in the box of crayons and said, okay, this color matches your skin tone. She said and so I had to explain to her that, her cultural identity is more than the tone of the color. Skin. What is your cultural makeup? So we had to talk about that and get her to understand that she is a Black girl. She has Black girl magic, all of those things. The third thing is that I wanted her to be able to read at least 300 words. I'm like, with 300 words, you can get by.
Definitely.
Read signs, you can at least, 300 words. The fourth one was I wanted her to learn how to ride a bike so she could have social experiences, and things like that. And then lastly was just basic hygiene. As a young woman, what are the basic things that you need to do to make sure that you're healthy and that you are in a presentable state, at all times. So those were our goals. And within
those are also important.
Yeah, we had met those goals within 8 months. So as much as I did not want her to go, if she had to go, I felt like I had deposited enough into her again to allow her to be more successful in whatever the next phase of her life was.
Yeah, that's really good. I really like that. And it doesn't take long to instill this in kids either at all. And they want to. That's what I think about the character building. I was at the middle school I was at. It was an underserved school, but I kept trying to get them golf and kept getting them this, and they didn't want that. When I brought in the character building and talk about tying ties, and the girls get to talk about different, they loved it and they paid attention. So when some people think that academics is wonderful, we need academics, but that little part of the building their character and teaching them to be empowered, so important.
It is so important, building that confidence, because especially for kids who come from a traumatic situation, whether it be physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, or whatever, they're already coming in with, low confidence, with, self-esteem issues, all of that. So I had to put forth an extra effort to equip her with special skills, skills that not everybody has. So she's the type of child, if you say, Jada, how are you doing? Most children just at her age, I'm good. But she knows if somebody asks you how you doing, you return with them and say, I'm doing fine. How about you? Basic conversational skills is really important that a lot of kids don't have.
They just don't.
Yeah. How do you extend a conversation? If you're talking to an adult, don't just one word answer, yes, no. Go back and forth with some conversation. Those are really important skills that are going to really help her in the future. So I'm just so proud of her. And again, I'm just so glad that God chose me and trusted me
and put y'all together.
And put us together and equip me with the village that I need, because I definitely could not do this alone.
Do it by yourself. Yeah. And I'm glad to hear you say that me and my family been having some back and forth about that too, that we don't know what to do with these little people. We gotta have a village. We gotta have a village to help. I didn't know anything about little people. So when I had my first daughter, I didn't want to touch her. I didn't want to give her a bath. None of those things.
Yeah.
I had a husband that had been around kids. I was like, I thought I'm gonna break. She fell off the bed. I took her to the doctor. Like finally, the doctor was like, "Hey, she's stronger and tougher than what you think." I like,
what you think? Yeah.
I'm responsible for this little thing here, and I want to make sure she don't hurt herself.
Yeah, and that's so true. And even in the foster process, it's even a little more sensitive issue, because people don't realize during that foster period, the CPS is the custodial parent. I'm just the guardian. Yeah. So I could not make during the foster period any medical, any educational, any even social, any travel decisions without getting that approved through CPS. So I couldn't just, let's go to, South Padre. She likes water. That I had to submit a request. They had to know exactly which hotel we're. And again, I'm not complaining. That's a good thing, because it's safeguards that are set up. Sure. Yeah. That they're not going from bad to worse, a bad situation to a worse. So I understand the process, but in that time, it was a lot, because everything had to be approved. Caseworkers are constantly coming over. That's right.
Just to make sure that she's safe.
Yeah, and they would do body checks, and I remember the first time she fell, and she, in the process of trying to learn how to ride the bike, she fell and she skinned her knee like really bad. And I'm like, oh Lord, when the caseworker comes, here's my story. We were riding the bike, she fell, and I'm like, she already is, coming from abuse. So I was so nervous that, kind of like you said, what do I need to do this quick? Instead of realizing, okay, she's 5,
that's human. Things happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But again, they are watching every move. They're looking at every document.
Well, I'm kind of glad to know that, that they do try their best to make sure that those kids, when they get removed, that they're in a safe place.
And I think that's really good, because unfortunately there is a sector of people who do this for the financial gain. Now, I'm blessed that my financial need, what I make financially, that didn't match, at all. So it's in my mind, I'm thinking that doesn't make sense. I would have to get like 5 of these kids to really say, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and do this
full time.
But some people do, and they have levels of needs. So you can get a basic need child or a like severely needed child, and you get more money for that child because they have medical needs, or they have psychological needs. So you'll have to be going to more appointments and things like that. So you have different levels and different amounts of money, but it's unfortunate that there is a sector of people that do it for the financial gain, and they do not provide the children with, again, love, trust, stability, and consistency that they need. They just keeping them fed, keeping them safe, got somewhere to lay their head, even if it's on the in the corner on the floor,
on the floor.
And that's that's just not fair. And I'm just so grateful.
It's just more trauma for the baby.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
How long did it take her to trust you?
So when you say trust, the thing I remember that is like a inspirational moment is the day she called me mommy. Like, I don't know if that equates trust in a child. Like, to me, that could equate trust in a child.
Definitely.
Because for all the at the beginning, I was Miss K. Hi, Miss K, Miss K, Miss K. And it was a happy Miss K, and it was a beautiful Miss K. But I remember it was almost a full year. It was like September of the year after she came. She called me mommy. And I remember that day vividly. And when she said it, I was trying not to have a big expression on my face. Yeah, I know. I was like, let me just let it flow and let it go and all of that. Because I don't think she realized that she did it either. But to answer your question, to me, that was the point. That was the evidence of trust, I feel.
Yeah. I could say that
my name changed.
Definitely to a name that, because I didn't get that. My kids, call me mom, but I was a wraparound specialist, and there was a young lady that wasn't getting the needs from home. Lots of things going on, and they kept sending me what they call a staff. It's a student assistance form. I get those from the teachers or whoever that found this issue, and she had several issues, but this one issue was about body odor. And she had a very young mom. I met them. I knocked on her mama's door one day. So I was like, she needs glasses. I need you to sign this form to get this baby some glasses. Yeah. She stuck that little paper through the door with just the last name. I was like, whatever, I'll fill out the rest. But point being that I did a lot, and then I called her in one day because I said, I can't get mom to do it, so let me try this. I went and bought her some bed and bath and beyond little stuff. And then I had in my room, I had soap. Anyway, I talked about taking a bath. This is why. Do you use I just give her the thing. So maybe a week or two later, I was in the cafeteria, and she came to me. She said, you act like a mom. I was like, well, I am a mom, because I didn't get it. I said, well, I am a mom. Yeah. She said, no, you act like my mom. I said, well, what are you saying? She said, because you care about me. You thought I wanted to go and run and go cry right there?
I know you did. Yes.
So when you said that, that reminded me of that, the special moment that I knew this baby trusted me, and she appreciated the time I took with her to teach her these skills that she needed. I mean, basic skills. And I know in my mind, I don't know where she is now, but in my mind, I'm like, I know she took what Miss Trina taught her about taking a bath and deodorant. And I even told her, even if the adult, because I think she was maybe 10, she was big enough to get in the bathtub by herself. And I think even if you're an adult, but she had like a younger brother, like younger people, it was a bunch of children in the house. I think even if the adult doesn't, you make sure you go get a towel, wash it, put soap in. So So
that really speaks to, again, that fostering process. So that, that big myth or the point of trying to discourage people from fostering because, they're going to have to leave. At some point, you hope, as a parent, I would assume, you hope your child does leave. You don't want no 40-year-old sitting up in your house. So at some point,
you got to kick them out the net.
You got to go. Yeah. You hope you've equipped them with enough skills or just enough, qualities that when they do leave, everybody's going to leave. Life is about transition. You leave relationships, you leave jobs, you leave, homes, you get new homes. Life is about transition. But the key is, in the moment that while you're there, are you a good steward over who you have? Are you a good steward over the time, the money, the energy that you have in the moment? Because it's going to change. It's going to leave, but did you do right with the time that you had?
Exactly.
I even think about, some people say, they can remember back to their second grade teacher and how things that they say. That's the same thing as a foster parent. That teacher was not meant to be there forever, but it's something that's grade teacher said or did that stuck with you through adulthood. And coaches, they'll talk about my coach did this.
Absolutely.
So that's what I looked at it as a foster parent. She may not be here forever,
and it's okay to think about that. Definitely.
Yeah, it's okay, but she's gonna remember Miss K. Wherever she goes, she's gonna remember that Miss K.
She's gonna remember that you taught her about taking a bath. She's gonna remember about I learned about God from
this lady named Miss K. Yeah. So that was my guiding. That's what I led with. If she does not stay here forever, I'm okay. Because in my mind, what I wanted to do was over, a span of 15 years, foster 10 or 12 different kids. And,
that's what it started out being.
That's what it was supposed to be. Because then when I got old and around my deathbed, they all were going to circle around and I had this everybody was gonna circle around.
And Miss K was this and Miss K was so.
that's what I had in my mind. But God is tricky and don't do what I want him to do, So he did his own thing. And it's so funny. My first foster ended up being my forever child. And I did not expect that. Yeah,
that was his plan.
Yeah, she was the only child that I fostered, and she's my child, yeah. And the foster period lasted a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and I think it had a lot to do with COVID. A lot of the meetings were virtual and things and all that. So the adoption was not finalized until May 10th of 2023. So she came December 28th of 2020, and it was not finalized until May of 2023. So again, that's a long process to be under a custodial CPS as the custodial parent. So that's why I tell everybody that if you're considering going into that, be prepared to push through for the long haul, because it could be quick, it could last. There's no timetable, there's no way to determine what the process is going to be, because it has so many variables and so many factors.
And everybody's case is probably different.
Everybody's case is different. If the parents are doing their services on time and doing everything's right, they may be reunified. There's so many different factors that could happen. And so, without going into any specific details, her biological parental rights were terminated, I think in January. And so then January of 2023. So then she was eligible for adoption. And of course, the answer when they asked
you,
they did. And I was like, are y'all really asking me? Are y'all like, I had to, what? Are y'all really asking me? I have totally adjusted my life to this girl. She calls me mama. She calls my sister auntie, and my mom, grandma, so I'm like, yeah, the answer is yeah. Y'all didn't even have to ask that. Yeah.
So when you told her that you were going to be able to be her mommy and she was going to be able to stay with you, what was that like?
Oh my gosh, she was so excited. But again, we had already acclimated. By that time, we were dressing alike. We had all our little, our little themes and our little traditions. And, so I think we were functioning as if we were going to be together forever.
Right.
So when
claiming it.
Yeah, right. We were claiming it, or just living as if, they say assume the best and just live as if. And so that's what we were doing. So when we got the official announcement, I did explain that to her. So she had, she's very intellectual. She's very in tune to her emotions, all that. So she had some really good questions as far as her name, because, her name had to, it didn't have to change, but I did ask her, I said, Jada, we have the option. You can change your name, if you keep your name, because I didn't realize you can change not only the last name, you could change the first name, middle name, everything. Yeah. So we, we talked about that. She did ask, would she ever see her biological parents, again? Does this mean, what does this mean? So she had a lot of good questions, which I was so glad.
For someone so young.
To be so young. Yeah. I was glad we were able to talk through that. She has a counselor. She still sees a counselor on a weekly basis. She kind of talked through it for us. So on the adoption day on May 10th of 2023, we all dressed in blue. We had that's her favorite color. We all dressed in blue. We went down to the Galveston County courthouse and, had the whole ceremony, had pictures. And I mean, it was just.
I think you posted those.
I did. Yeah. Oh, I know I did. Yeah.
I've seen your process, but it just never.
Yeah, that it was literally a process. I mean, at that point, again, we were knocking on, almost 3 full years together. So it was a lot of steps, a lot of high points, but there were some very difficult times, also. So, I'm big about speaking the truth. And of course, this process, like I would do it over 10 times again, if I had to, but with knowing that there were some really highs, but there were some difficult times that I kind of questioned myself, that I kind of said, but in the scheme of life, and especially when you look back, I would do it over 10 times again. To save a child. They always say adoption saves lives, but it really does. And it doesn't mean like physically save, but you're saving their soul. You could be saving them physically, from life or death. You're saving their character. You're saving their ability to be a productive person in society. Like there's so many savings that happen that I
that is
don't
so
regret.
cool.
I don't regret.
So kind of what you're talking about now, many people do, they want to adopt, but they feel intimidated by all the steps that involved. What advice would you give them on getting through the process of the adoption process?
Yeah, so the first thing is there are a lot of adoption and foster agencies. So you have agencies as big as everybody knows the Pelchin, because that's the first one that I went to. And I think the Pelchin is wonderful. They're big and all that. But people that know me, I'm very much a people person, and that quality, that, interpersonal skills, like I really. So I chose to go with a smaller agency. So my first advice would be to really research different agencies. There's plenty of options out there. It's not like there's one. So research an agency, because again, those people gonna be in your life and all in your business for a long time. Yeah. So you want to find an agency that you're comfortable with, that kind of is in alignment to what you're looking for. So that's the first thing, find an agency. And then the second thing is just trust and know that the agency has supports in place. Even now, we have a post-adoption caseworker that even now she's, for Christmas, Jada gets a gift basket and she always sends resources about that. So they have support throughout the continuum of the process. And just lean on that. Don't be too big to ask for help or too good to ask for, financial vouchers. Yeah, I need a voucher to the rodeo. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah,
I know, whatever.
Don't be afraid to ask for that help and to open up. So that would be my second advice. The third thing is, you have to really know that you want this. So you take time to analyze your why. And I had to sit down with myself and ask, really, why am I doing this? Is it because I love kids, which I do, professionally, I work with kids, is it just because I love kids, or am I really wanting to really save a child's life and really realize, even when I get older, you need your children. If you raise your child right and they're loyal to you, and you need your kids.
Bolling, I hope I've raised them right so they want to take care of me when I'm old.
That's what I said. Yeah. And even now, even with my mom, and my dad passed in 2015, but as you get older, you need your kids. And so that was a big thing, and not for a selfish reason for myself, but being alone, and even if you're married, being with someone, eventually you're gonna need some younger people with some more energy and some more strength, to be part of your life. That's just what it is. So again, just really searching your soul to figure out what your why is, because that, on those days that it's hard, that's what's going to motivate you to continue. So take time to research. Don't rush into it. Really take time, and then block your ears from negativity. Unfortunately, especially, I hate to say it, in our culture, girl, you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what kind of genetic makeup that child has. You better, and that's a lot of negativity. It is. You're right. You don't know, but that's the same thing when you birth a child. You don't know you're birthing a child with autism or with Down syndrome, or who's later going to have bipolar disease. You don't know what you are, looking for. What you're going to get.
You haven't meet them. People have a child that is getting along, and then something unfortunately traumatic happens, and that changes someone else's whole life. So anything can happen.
It goes back to that love, trust, stability, and consistency. So that's right. Okay, if I do get a child who has, emotional imbalances or emotional disturbance or whatever, okay, so what am I going to do with that? Provide them love, trust, stability, consistency, lean on my resources through my agency, lean on my village. Ask God for help, know that he didn't put me in this situation and just going to leave me. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So, don't
even know that God is the one that I keep reading. I look up the autism. I'm always reading stuff about autism a lot lately. And one always says, I realized God gave you to me because he knew that I could take care of you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That I think that is so. Yes, he will choose you to for his purpose. And that's what I always say. At the end of my life, I want to know. I would say, good and faithful servant. What did I do to better the kingdom of God. With your biological children and your family, I mean, you don't have to do that, but it's kind of expected that you're going to do that. Yeah, stepping outside of yourself and to really pull somebody else into your life and really equip them. To me, that's really doing what God wants us to do as far as making a change, in the kingdom of God. And so I want to always, function in a way that's pleasing in his sight. I really do. And so I pray every day that he's pleased with my parenting. I'm not far from perfect. Like I said, it's so many things I'm learning, be Googling every time,
Hey, I wish people would realize that too. I think we're sometimes hard on ourselves. And I know I can be a perfectionist. Even in reviews at work, I'm hard on myself. But as parents, I know that we have to give ourselves grace for not knowing some things and leaning on other people for things. That's something that is hard for us, but we have to do it.
We have to do it. And even with me, I have to say, okay, you've been a mom, even though I'm 49 years old, I have been a mom, I always say my chronological age and my mommy age. I'm a baby mommy. Like, I've only been a mommy. It hadn't even been 5 full years yet. So I cannot expect myself, again, like you said, give myself grace. Yeah, I'm 49. I'm professional. Got my master's degree, my own business, and all that. But my mommy age, I'm a baby in this mommy game. And I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
And that's funny.
Yeah.
And you can be at work and be this professional, got it all together. You run stuff, and then somebody because this happened. I went to someone's birthday, and she's my director. And she at work, she is just straight. I loved her. She was a great, great mentor, but she did all this stuff at work. She had it together, organized. I went to her baby's birthday party, and they were little then. Oh my gosh. I was like, Miss Sus,
is it the same?
It was like this. And it was, I loved it. It was refreshing to see her in that state.
Yeah.
And I actually had more respect for her after that. I already had this respect for her, but to see her in that, with her hair standing all over her head, running after little children, it just made me respect her so much more.
Because that's the truth. We can learn our professional skills. We can learn all that. Now, parenting, you just got to go with the flow. It's going to change as the child changes. Because now that Jada's entering her preteen years, it's different. Even though we've only been in the game for almost 5 years, her 5-year-old Jada and this almost 11-year-old Jada. Oh, baby, these are two different. Oh, they're different. They're different. Two different people. And now, she's like 3 inches taller than me, and and so we dealing with a whole nother different person, so all of this is moving so quickly. I'm like, I didn't even have time to enjoy the baby stage or the little girl stage.
Just switch off.
I got a person up in here with me.
That is so funny. She's really tall.
Oh yeah, she had to go to
her. I just didn't remember that.
She had to go to the doctor. Unfortunately, she wasn't feeling good earlier this week, and they put her on the scale to measure her and everything. And she's almost 5'6".
Wow,
I'm 5'2". She's almost 5'6", and she's 10 years old. So
she's not finished growing.
Oh no! I mean, we just getting started. Yeah. And I tease everybody. I said, I have to literally start carrying her birth certificate anywhere we go, at the buffets. It's 10 and under, it's for free. And she's only 10. And they looking at me like, now woman,
girl, what?
I said, I'm not going to keep this birth certificate like these some papers, like the slaves used to travel with their papers. Yeah. Because people are constantly questioning her age, constantly saying, she looks like she's 13 and all that. But my love and the thing that I really say, she's still a child at heart. Like, she's not grown at all. She's very mature, but I still keep her in the realm of being a little girl. You're still a little girl. Now your body is not, but you are still a little girl in your thoughts and in your, things you're into and all of that. So I try to keep that. So again, that's why she don't have no cell phone, she don't have no Jordans and all that kind of stuff. We not there yet. Yeah, you still 10. And,
exactly.
So
I love that. I love your story.
Thank you.
I really do.
It has been amazing.
I can imagine. And I think it makes me think about my dad had me and my sister, and when he was married to my mom, and then he married someone else and they adopted. I was just telling you earlier before the show, I forgot about how I have my own story, but Crystal, he had Crystal since she was 6 months. I just remember him coming out with this little baby in a car seat, and he was dating this lady, and I was like, who is this little baby? But we all fell in love with Crystal, and then they got the brother. They asked, I guess they give them rights to ask for the brother. So they got her little brother too. But yeah, they grew up in our family and they're just like, and I guess that's why I forget.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Jada. I forget, like I'll say, "Oh, you got that from me," like certain thing, and I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's like Jeanette. That would be for like a bio." Like I forget that she's not my child either, because she's picked up a lot of my mannerisms. But you know how they say the more you're with somebody, you start looking alike. They even say you start looking like
even sounding alike.
Everything else, yeah. So like. And my sister is the one that brings it to my attention all the time. She goes, "Girl, you just like your mama," about different little things and little quirkiness and stuff. So it's so beautiful to see that motherhood can be in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be biological; it can be in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
And we need to respect that. Not everybody is going to be a biological mother, but it doesn't minimize you as a mother.
I'm no less
I'm no less than a mother than if I did carry her for 9 months and birth her. And you better not tell her that I'm any less than a mother. In her mind,
she'll probably be ready to fight you.
Oh yeah, she would. Yeah, she always tells me, Mommy, if anybody says something, just tell me. And I'm thinking
that's so cute.
Oh yeah, she really protected, all of that. So it's just the bond is just, beautiful. And
I saw you guys went to a football game.
Oh yeah. So that's the other thing. My thing was, okay, how can we bond? So we had to find a lot of commonalities of things that we like. So I hate to say it, as pitiful as the Colorado Buffs, with Deion Sanders, they doing horrible, Lord Jesus. They are. But that was a big bonding thing for us. So we, when he first, when Shador and Travis were playing, when they first started, we had our gold and black pom-poms. So, we would watch the game together, make appetizers together. It was a whole process, but really and truly, it wasn't necessarily the football. It was a bond. And so Jada would be, Mama, the game is on. The game, we running and getting So they played U of H. That was the first opportunity that they came and played U of H in September. So of course we got the tickets and she's in the stands. Dion, hollering Dion from the stands like she know him from
that's her best friend. That's so cute.
We done talked about it so much. She Dion and waving from the stands and go Buffs and all that. And don't Bimbo and I don't even know too much about football. Don't Bimbo understand the rules and stuff about football, but it's just
basketball, but it's a bonding thing. Yes.
It's a bonding thing. The same thing like with music. Not unfortunately, but Jada, she's an old soul because she's her mommy has old school, so she knows Stevie Wonder, she knows Luther, she knows New Edition. New Edition is coming next year to Houston. We already got our tickets. She go,
y'all already got your tickets. I gotta get mine. I'm behind.
Yeah, get your tickets. Yeah. So she knows
old soul, but my baby girl, she liked Luther. She's like 5, liking Luther Vandross. I was like,
Yes. So she knows Anthony Hamilton and all that. I said, oh boy, my baby don't know nothing about Nicki Minaj and whoever the new people are. She don't know nothing.
That's okay.
Yeah, we were somewhere and they had a DJ and she said, oh, I'm gonna go ask him to play Anthony Hamilton. I said, Jada, don't do that. They're gonna think you yeah, you looked at that time. She probably was about 8. I said, because they were like, any song requests? She said, oh, I'm gonna go ask him to play Anthony Hamilton. I said, don't do that. Please don't. So, but again, those were the things that we bond on. Those are our connections. So that's what I really try to do. A lot of traditions, a lot of, again, consistency to make her feel part of, because when you're coming into a new home, a new space, new sounds, new smells, new textures, all of that, everything is so foreign. So I had to put forth some intentional effort to find some things that we can bond on, that she can say we,
and
she can
so
say
important.
Yeah, she can say our. Yeah, all of those words that make her feel a part of. And so we did those things.
Before we bring Jada on, I was going to ask you, I was forming this question. I thought about, so another thing that's very important for moms, dads, parents is to have mommy time. So I know you joined the jump rope, the double dutch.
Right, and can't hardly double dutch. But anyway, I'm going to get better.
But I'm talking about pickleball. But when I saw your jump rope, I was like, oh my God, now that
Oh, that yeah, I have to tell you more about it, and you would definitely love it. So I'm telling everybody, come on and join us. But yes, that mommy time, and that is, I'm so glad you brought that up because that is something I did not have at the beginning. I thought I had to say yes to everything. Every time she called mommy, I had to come running. You know, every time she needed something, I had to, you know. So it got to the point where in the beginning, I did overextend myself, and it got to the point by the end of the night, I was so drained that I had some feelings of regret. I had some feelings of, I don't want to say depression, but I had overextended myself. So I had to figure out how to have balance. And part of it was I felt that I had to overcompensate for her trauma. Oh, she didn't have her mommy around. So I have to be everything, and I have to overcompensate. And I have to fix everything within a month. And I had, like, when I say I was drained, I was drained. And the process became not as enjoyable as it was. So I had to sit her down one day and I had to tell her, I said, Jada, mommy has to have my own time. You know, I'm not going to be able to do everything. I can't be your best friend, your playmate, your mommy, your nurse, your Uber driver, your doctor. I'm only one person. I can't be all that.
I'm burn out before we get Yes,
I am. So we came up. So that was part of the Mommy and Me Mondays. Gotcha. So I said, Mommy and Me Mondays, we are doing something together and we're going to be consistent with that and all of that. You know, the other days we may do a little something, you know, but I had to have some time. So it got to the point we had a little sticker on the outside of my door and it just said Mommy time. And when I put this sticker on that door, she knew, don't knock on this door unless you were bleeding profusely. Even if you bleed a little bit, look, a little blood,
but a real cut.
I need to see some overflow of blood. And unless it's that, don't knock on this door. And once the sign is removed, then you can, you know, because I had to have my time. Because, and I know parents say this all the time. You're sitting on the toilet and the child, they hands
on the phone, here they come.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have no privacy. And it was hard. Again, me being my age, I've, you know, been by myself in regards to not having children for so much time. So I didn't realize, kids want to be in your face like all the time. Anything you eat, they want to taste it.
They want some. You can get ice cream by yourself.
Yeah. I was like, I need to get my stuff and go hide and put my sign on the door, go hide in my room so I can eat my stuff peacefully without her asking and looking and touching and all of that. So yes, that's how we established balance. And she understood that, but it's because she trusted the Mommy and Me Mondays and our other traditions, the football games and the other things that were set in stone. She knew those things were going to happen. So it was like, okay, I can separate for a little while. So that's how we
help her in the future too, to know that it's okay to set boundaries about time.
Yes.
You know, I you know, I think we've all been through that where we didn't realize that it's okay for us to have this time, you know, that by myself.
And it's okay to say, no, we're not doing that today. I used to feel so guilty doing puzzles. I was like, oh Lord, if I see another puzzle, I'm going to literally just clunk over.
Or I have my two nephews stay here and one of them likes to play patty cake. And I mean, all I got to do is do this. And he grabbed my hands, like, look, we're not playing patty cakes now, right?
And they're so cute, you know.
To do patty cake.
Right. So we were able to establish some boundaries, and it got to the point where she started enjoying her quiet time. She crochets now, so she'll go in her room and crochet and do her little thing, and she's happy with her quiet time too. So it works out. God is good. He's so good, and He's so faithful, and I'm just so grateful. I really am. I
love that. And I even from the beginning of your story, just listening all the way through the timeline, is that, you know, even though you felt like I can't keep saying no, but he was saying that ain't your time yet. That's not the one. But here is the one, your twin.
Yes, the perfect one. The perfect one. Yep. So again, everything is in His time. I sound like my mama. And His time, and His season, and in His way. That's what my mom used to always say. And
add the season and way. I just been saying that today I've been saying it all week, like something's going on. I told you the job, whatever. So I kept saying, okay, you gotta be patient because His time, His plan. But I'm gonna add the season. And what's the other one?
In his way, because we want to do it in our certain way. It's His time, His season, and in His way. Yeah, and we have to relinquish control. Yeah.
But we love that control, don't we? But with children, you have none.
Right. This week Jada was sick, and when I say that threw everything off, I'm like, Jada, why this week? And she didn't have no control over, but I'm like, what? If I could pick the week, it wouldn't have been this week. So anyway, but it is.
Like 2 weeks now for you to get sick, so we can take
later on.
It's always when there's a big meeting or something, and you like, oh my God, I gotta tell these people I can't make this meeting.
I know. After I done did all this big talking of what I'm gonna do, then I got the call and tell them I can't come. Yeah,
I get that. Well, where is Miss Jada?
Listen, Jada, come here, baby.
What side of town are y'all on? If you don't mind me asking.
We're like 1960 and all the West.
So you're still north.
Yeah, like 1960. Okay. Come here. Remember I told you, come on and talk about. Remember I said that we
How are you?
Good.
I know you probably don't remember me, but I met you last year at a the purse exchange thing. You remember with Dr.
Mr. Terry? Remember Mr. Terry? They had the bingo and you won the pack.
Yeah.
For the Mother's Day.
First time I ever won anything, I won a purse. Yes. Yeah. That's where I met her at. How are you, Jada?
Good. What about you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you so much for asking. So, you give me Kenyetta, give Jada something that I can ask her about.
Yeah. What do you want to? I always say, from a child's heart, I think it speaks a lot. What would you tell some parents that are considering maybe like adopting or fostering? What would you say to some parents?
Don't really doubt yourself, because a lot of kids need you. And like, if you adopt, you change a kid's life very much.
Yes, I love that. I love that so much. Do you feel like you and mom were connected on purpose, like it was supposed to happen?
Yes.
I love that. Oh my gosh. So what about other children that are your age that may be waiting for a parent? What would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
It might take a long time, but just do your best so you get into like a good family.
Yeah.
And like, be yourself. Try not being like a perfect child or being a bad child.
Be just yourself.
Just be yourself and know that somebody will love you. Even if the home that you're in didn't love you, or you feel they didn't love you, somebody will love you for who you are. That's right.
Yes. Well, Jada, you are adorable and you are so blessed. I'm not even going to use the word lucky, but you are so blessed. I've known your family for a very, very long time. You know what a degree is? You know what a degree is, right? College?
Yes.
Your family helped me get my master's degree. And that was your grandmother. She was always very big in the community, and I've loved them all. So this is so great that I get to have this conversation with them. So y'all paying me back for letting me come in and interview your people.
Yes. Now Jada has a letter. Now this was, and it's real short, so she's going to read this. But we found this. Yeah, this was from, what was this? 2023. The date is on there, 2023, when she was 8 years old. And this was and it's certain things that I keep. She makes so much stuff, and I have to be honest, Jada, some of it mommy throws away because I can't keep everything. I have to be honest. But there's certain things that she makes and does that I really keep. So I'm going to let her read to close it out.
Please do.
Speak up.
So a letter that I wrote was, "Dear Mom, I know parenting is a hard job and you do it so well. Everything you taught me inspires me to keep going, and I want to spend more time together. And I'm proud and glad to call you my mom. And you are the best cook in the world, and I feel so blessed to have you as my mom. Thanks for always believing in me and doing so much for me. And thank you for raising me to always say please and thank you. And I mean it. I love you."
Oh my gosh, Jada. I'm about to tell my kids. Where's my letter?
And I keep a folder with again a few things that, and I told her, I said, when she get them teenage years and all that attitude and stuff, I'm gonna pull that out. Where's this child at? where's this child at? Because but
I love that.
Jada is an amazing, amazing child. I'm not perfect. She tells me all the time. What do you say? She always say, "Mommy, you make a lot of mistakes," and I said, "I sure do." Yeah, and so she know, but again, that love, trust, consistency, and stability, it really has worked for both of us. And Jada is an amazing, amazing child with such a bright future. And I'm not just saying that because she's my child, but God has really chosen her, and I'm so excited to be part of her life.
I don't know if y'all probably think I'm a stalker when I tell you I watched your life, just didn't really think about what I was watching, but I saw y'all at the game last week. I've seen so many parts of your existence. It's so crazy. So, but I want to thank both of you, and Jada, I love that letter. And Kenyetta, I hope that you do keep those things, because sometimes just pulling those things out, because I'm joking about my daughter. She has written me a letter too. I probably have one hung up somewhere. Yeah. But it gives me those days where I'm not feeling like a parent anymore because they're gone. Those give me so much love. It makes me realize. Or if they call and just say, ask me a question, it's like, I still need you. So when you do those things like that and you think about it, it makes your mom so happy, and it makes you feel so good as a mom. Because sometimes we think we might not be the best mom in the world, but you can let us know how great we are. So continue to do that. Right. Love that. Yeah. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for joining me. This was such a great event. Such a great show tonight. I learned a lot, and it was great getting to meet you again, see you again. Any last words?
Thank you for thinking to invite us.
Of course. Thank you for taking me on the Doctor Awareness Month.
Oh yeah. Thank you for having us. And if nothing else comes out of this, I definitely, please feel free to reach out to me. If anybody that's listening is considering, like, I will definitely share all of the resources, all of the knowledge, all the good, the bad, So I'm hoping that even if it's just one person leaves this podcast with that desire.
It's the planting of the seed sometimes, just that one little bit of seed. And I will tell y'all, I probably will bug y'all again next year, and it'll be our anniversary, and we may come on and talk again. I mean, it's never too many times to come on and talk about this, and I could call y'all back again for next adoption month, and I would love that. Let's read some we got some comments real quick. Terry said, awesome story, awesome mother. He said something earlier about Jada being an amazing person. Jada's a beautiful young girl. And then Jamie Vega said, what a beautiful story and a beautiful family. Jennifer, Jennifer, she said, great conversation. So y'all, thank y'all for tuning in, and make sure that she's not saying that about asking her questions, because she will answer your questions. She will definitely, she's that type of person. So if someone reaches out to me, I will definitely get you in touch and contact with her as well.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank y'all again, and y'all have a great holiday season.
Yes, you too.
All right, bye. Tell your mama say hi.
Okay, bye-bye.